Hello. I've got kind of an interesting topic tonight because I felt guided to talk about how we give our power away because I do it all the time. I see it all the time. It's a fun thing to play with. And so hopefully it's my intention that you'll discover something about yourself in our time together tonight that will impact your daily life. And that'll be fun to play with for you because it's not really that we do anything wrong. It's just that sometimes the things that we say and the things that we give our power to are not giving us the results we want in our life. So it's kind of fun to look at that and go, all right, how is what I'm saying and thinking impacting what I'm getting in my life, and how would I like to change that? And that's kind of what we'll play with tonight. So hopefully you'll get something from that. Ava will join me again in a couple of weeks. We decided to do a solo round here and there just to play and then get back together again. So we'll be back together on the 17th. But tonight I'm flying solo. So as I talk tonight, if you could be sure to use the chat box. And if you've got a question, if you've got something that comes up for you, be sure and share it because that energy will kind of feed what we talk about. And so I don't feel like just the talking head sitting over here. I want to address things that are real for you. So, where we give our power away, it starts with our thoughts, but those can be kind of hard to get a handle on at times, can't they? Like, we're not always aware of what we're thinking, but maybe it's easier to notice the words that come out of our mouths. And I actually taught this at the local college yesterday, and it was so fun because we had a group of senior citizens. And it's so neat to me to meet a group of senior citizens that still wants to change and grow and evolve. And it was fun to notice how our language is self-defeating. And I'm going to put some examples out here. And as you guys come up with examples, be sure and share those too, because we all do this. For example, when I set my phone up to do the Facebook Live tonight and it didn't work, I caught myself thinking, oh, this happens to me when there's nobody around to help. Is that a self-defeating thought? Yes. I don't want to perpetuate more of things like that happening when nobody's around to help. And the fact of the matter is, I'm around to help and I handled it just fine. So at least I didn't go spinning off in that direction. And there was a time that I would have gone into a whole rant of self-defeating language. Oh, why does this always happen to me? Always. That word right there, always. Why does this always happen to me? Why do I end up doing this to myself? Why am I so stupid with technology? You can see how if I fed that and went down that trail, I could just sit here and beat myself up for quite some time. This is a really fun topic to talk about on the heels of the vision board topic that we talked about. I guess it's been a month now since we did our vision boards. I hope you did your vision board. Did you? So vision boards are about getting clarity around what we want and creating more of that instead of what we don't want. But what happens, especially when something goes wrong, is we tend to give our energy to what we don't want, right? We get upset about it. It triggers us. And we spin off into a whole bunch of language and thought around what's wrong, the problem, instead of what we do want. So starting to notice that, because we know in this group, because we are more conscious than a lot of people walking around out there, that where we give our attention and our energy, we manifest more of that, don't we? We create. That's power. That attention is power. So paying attention to the negative, feeding the negative, creates more negative. And we don't have to look any further than the primetime news to see this in action. And the more worked up we get over the news, the more we feed the very thing that we want to shift. So it can be a tricky business, can't it? I'm not suggesting that when something goes wrong or is not going the way we want it to, that we pretend it is. Because it is what it is, right? We're going to see what we see and we're going to have a response to it. But the quicker we can catch ourselves and shift our language into something that's more empowering of what we do want, the better the results are going to be. My comments are not working. So either you guys, there's a couple. Okay. Yeah, my comments weren't working. My screen's freezing up. Sorry about that. All right, let me catch up. Glad to see you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, none of you guys were showing up. My comments were just frozen. Okay, I'm glad I took a minute to scroll there. So, hi, thank you for joining me. Please jump in here if there's something that resonates for you. So, I'm going to run through a few examples right now of ways that I personally have given my power away in the past. And I still catch myself doing it sometimes, but I promise you the whole key to this is awareness. The sooner we can catch ourselves doing these things, the sooner we can rewrite the programming, rewrite the story, create more of what we do want. So that's the big takeaway from this. Focus on what you do want, not what you don't want. And sometimes it's as simple as just reversing the statement, right? Because sometimes all we know for sure is, I don't want this anymore. Well, what does that look like? I hold the energy of the possibility of something better. And to me, something better looks like this. So just start to give language to that. Okay? So here's some of the places I give my power away. And if any of these aren't clear as to how they're giving my power away or your power away, please let me know. Yeah, right, Mario. Welcome to the world of technology. It's going to happen. Okay. So see if you say these things to yourself. One of my, it seems like default favorites is, I don't know. And the truth of the matter is 99% of the time I do know. I don't know is a place I go to squirm around because I'm uncomfortable with saying the truth, or I haven't quite refined what the truth is. I'm trying to buy myself more time. So I go into this instant place of giving my power away. I don't know. That's just powerless. A powerful statement is, you know what, I need some time for that. I would like to take a little time and then I'll get back with you on that. Or I'm still really going through that in my mind and in my heart, but I want to have this conversation. Let's circle back in a week. You know, something other than, I don't know. Do you do that? Do you say, I don't know, when it's just an uncomfortable situation, or you just don't know? How else, what else to say? So you just say, I don't know. Another one is procrastination. Oh, I hope you get sound. Y'all can hear me, right? Yes, I'm in Texas saying y'all. I hope I'm coming through okay. Another one is procrastination. Our family had a story that we procrastinate. We are the world's worst procrastinators. We used to say that all the time. The truth of the matter is, I think procrastination is a story. I don't really believe in procrastination. What I have found procrastination means for me is, it isn't important enough to me to take care of yet. It's either going to become more important, or I may never get around to it because it's just not that important to me. That's standing in my power. A powerless statement is, I'm the world's worst procrastinator. You know what? I'll get around to that. I probably won't, or I will. But that whole thing is just a place to leak power. Can you see that? Hey, Nora. Okay, good. I'm glad my voice is going. If y'all were just lip reading, that would not be good. Okay, here's another one. I'm no good at that. Or I'm no expert. The fact of the matter is, I'm as good as I've chosen to be at this point. And if I want to get better, I'll either work at it, or maybe I don't need to get better. Maybe I'm good enough right where I am. It's that always putting ourselves down, right? I'm not smart enough. I'm not cute enough. I'm not ready enough. I, I'm not enough. Any version of I'm not enough is a story. It's not a truth. So if y'all want to play with that some more, let me know. Some of this stuff I'm just going to kind of, yeah, you got to turn the media on. That's funny. So let me know if any of this resonates for you. The world's worst giving our power away is, I can't. Sometimes it feels empowering when we've been struggling and struggling and struggling to do something to finally say, you know what, I can't. We feel like we're declaring a truth. But that's really not a truth, because we are amazing beings. And there's very little that we honestly can't do. I'm choosing not to. I'm choosing to wait. I'm choosing not to. I'm choosing to put my energy somewhere else. Feels so much more powerful than I can't, doesn't it? Try saying that the next time you feel like you can't, or look at what's really going on that you can't. To manually do these. Hi, Cosmic Sparkle. I love the name. I have to manually scroll my thing to see what's going on, so it's hard for me to keep up. So I keep taking these breaks. I don't have any time. You know what? I'm so busy. I don't have any time. That sounds and feels so powerless. It's also, in all honesty, bullshit. We all have the same 24 hours a day, and we all have time, and we choose how to spend our time. I don't have any time may look like, you know what, I've got some other things that are really important to me on my calendar right now, so we'll have to work something out another time. I'm choosing to do something else. I have meant to connect with you and I apologize. I would like to get together with you. Let's do that. Oh, yeah, while we're on I apologize, how about I'm sorry? Does that sound powerful? I am sorry. I can apologize. I can give you a very heartfelt apology without saying I'm sorry, because I'm not sorry. I apologize. There's a big difference. Our whole language can be so disempowering when you really look at it. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys. Ava, go to Tom. He's got it working. But, what, Mario? But. Every accomplishment is paved with defeats. That's right. The road to success is paved with failure. Absolutely. Here's another one. I'm broke. That is totally powerless. And that's the way it feels when we say that, right? If we don't have any money, we feel like, yeah, it is powerless. I'm broke. But I'm not broke just because there may not be any money sitting in my wallet right now. There's nothing broke about me. The language we create through our thought and our words. And the deeper we go into that, the more we can realize how disempowering the thoughts that we're thinking and the language that we're using are to us. And we can start to give some of our power back to ourselves. That is self love. I'm not talking about an ego trip here. I'm talking about loving ourselves enough to speak the truth in a way that honors us and the other person. And a lot of the language that we have become really accustomed to using doesn't do that, does it? Tom and Ava together. Good. You guys belong together. Well, okay, so I'm bad about. There's another one. Sweet Shannon, I'm not meaning to pick on you, but you said I'm bad about sorries. And you're not bad about anything, honey. You're beautiful. And maybe you want to change your language. I choose to change my language. I choose to say I apologize where I have been saying I'm sorry. And you're not bad, honey, at all. You couldn't be bad if you tried. So things like no time, no money, I don't know, I'm broke. Another way that we do this in relationships is by putting the other person in always and never statements. He always does this. He never does that. I always do this. I never get that right. Always and never are always and never true. It's just another way that we invent drama into a situation, isn't it? And it's disempowering to everyone involved. I wrote some of these down today. It was fun to create this. It's hard. How often do you say something's hard? And how does that feel? Doesn't it feel like rock solid hard? Another way might be, wow, this is really interesting. Let's look at how we can get through this. This is interesting, is a lot less of an obstacle than hard. Just play with the language. Find something else that resonates as true for you, but that doesn't take your power away. How's all this settling with you? Are some coming up for you that maybe I'm not thinking of? Mario, I can't be broke. I'm really busy. Yes, the power of words. Some of the reasons why we don't do things. I'm no expert. Nobody's going to care what I've got to say, right? How about I'm too old? I'm too young. I'm too fat. I'm too thin. All of this, and we're fed it by the media constantly. Like there's something wrong with us. So we've got to go buy these products and use these services to fix whatever's wrong with us because we're broken. And it's just not true. And it's one thing to listen to it on a television, although I don't think it's very good to feed that to yourself either. So I turn that stuff off as much as possible. But when we start believing it and telling it to ourselves, the thoughts that we think that defeat us before we ever even get started, why we don't even start a project, I'll just fail. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not smart enough. I'm not ready. I'm whatever, fill in the blank. Power struggles, even with ourselves. Yes, honey, especially with ourselves. Hi, Sylvia. It's so true. We are our own worst enemy. If we could get out of our own way, we would be to the moon by now, right? So that's what this talk is about, is one more way we can get out of our own way. So I've talked about quite a few, and I welcome you to please type in the comments. If there's some coming up for you that I haven't shared, please share. And now I want to talk about a little bit, since we're later in the video, what can we do about this? So we've got these limiting beliefs and limiting language that we are using that we are unconscious of, and we're giving our power away. So how can we start to reclaim our power? That's the most important thing, right? Okay, so we have to catch ourselves. That's it. Awareness is the key. So if you already do practices like meditation and journaling, you're off to a good start. How often do you read what you journal? I'm a huge journaler, and when I go back and read what I write, sometimes I'm like, wow, did I really just say that? How self-defeating is that? So journaling is a great tool. Journal unedited. Let it pour out on the paper. What's the matter? Why isn't my life working the way I want it to? Why don't I have the relationship I want? Why don't I have the money I want? Why don't I have the life I want? Where in my life do I keep getting hung up? Free write about that and then go back and read it from the perspective of, where can I change my language to reclaim my power? Affirmations are a great way to start to rewrite your story, because I am beautiful, I am ugly. If you think you're ugly, saying I am beautiful may just feel like lying to yourself. So work your way there. Find things that you love about yourself and focus on those. Focus on what you love and it will expand. And you will find yourself feeling more and more beautiful. So I'm not suggesting that you have to go to the polar opposite. Although if you do want to do that, that can work too, and here's how. I'm not suggesting that you say it and feel like you're lying to yourself. I'm suggesting that as you write an affirmation, you realize that you are a perfect soul in an imperfect human body. And you are speaking, you are giving voice to your soul in its perfect form. I am beautiful. I am powerful. I am limitless. I am infinite. I am amazing. I am a walking miracle. All of those things are true. You are that soul and skin that is that, and we are here to bring that through into the human body. And that's how affirmations can work. So you're giving voice to your soul. This sucks. Yeah, I sometimes say that too. I tell my friends and family to stop talking bad about. Yes, talking bad about another person. And you know what's interesting about that is it doesn't make that other person bad. It just shows your perspective, a place where you see a limited vision. So it's really more about the person saying it, isn't it? And so we can all kind of make great strides in this. So affirmations are good, journaling is good. Let's don't dismiss an accountability partner as the most powerful tool of all. Call a couple of your closest people into this with you and say, look, I'm learning about this and I need to catch myself. And before I can catch myself thinking it, I need to catch myself saying it and kind of work back. So while I'm trying to catch myself over here, if you catch me saying something like that, will you point it out? And I have a partner that's happy to do this stuff with me. I am a coach. If you don't work with a coach, Ava and I would love to work with you. Coaches are great accountability partners. We can give you activities and exercises and hold you accountable for the language that you say. The I can't, the it won't work, the all of that. Coaches are great for that. And so you can work with a coach, involve your friends and family in this, people that you can open up to, that you trust, that will help you do a better job with this stuff. Hi, Clarissa. Also, I want to point out that when we are in the middle of this, really hits us when we're in a crisis. It's easy to be positive when life is going rainbows and butterflies, isn't it? But when a crisis happens, that's when we show our true colors, because just apply fire, right? To see what someone's made of. That's when we really need to take the deep breath. That's when we really need to get centered. Because if we're not centered, if we don't take a few deep breaths and remember the truth of who we are, we start to think that we are the crisis. We lose ourselves in it, don't we? And oh my God, why does this always happen to me? And what am I going to do now? It's going to be terrible. What if? And we go into the worst possible spin. And the difference between doing that and saying, wow, I wonder what this is about. I need to really pull myself together here, because this is going to take all of me, right? And just center first and breathe and remember who we are, and then move into the situation. We don't get so lost in it. I'm going to catch up a little here with the comments. Oh, I like that. I like that. You stop your husband from talking bad about himself. Yeah, the more we become these beacons of positivity and love, and focusing on what we want and what's good, the good that we want, and expanding that, we become almost magnetic for people around us. And they start to ask, I get asked so often, how are you in such a good mood? Well, look what's going on with you. It's a choice, isn't it? I choose to stand in my power, and I'm getting better at it all the time. And you are too. There's an empowering statement. I am getting more empowered every day. I'm getting better and better at standing in my truth and seeing through the illusion. And that's what this is about. So we've got just a couple of minutes here, because I want to honor the clock. If anybody has any questions or anything they'd like to talk about with this, especially concerning relationships, because that is one of the biggest places that this shows up, I'd love to talk about it. Also, if you are joining us after the live video, please put your comments in here, and I'll still come through and we'll still have dialogue around it. Yes, we always have a choice. When I talk about that we create our own reality, there are many layers to that. And one of the easiest to access first is choosing how we want to look at the circumstances of our lives. Because this is all a culmination of everything we've created to now. And how we look at it now starts to shape what shows up tomorrow or in the next moment, right? And we're manifesting faster and faster. So the sooner we can get to choosing a new way to look at situations, a new way to look at a relationship, expecting the best, expecting, focusing on the amazingness of it, and expecting that, we are two beings who are always changing. And this is just going to get better and better. And isn't that exciting? What a great way to approach a relationship, expecting to be overjoyed by it. I like that. Ava says if you stand in front of the mirror and smile at yourself for a minute, you send yourself a signal that you are happy, and you will start to feel happy. Absolutely. They've actually proven that when we imitate the feeling, the brain doesn't know the difference. So that's where the whole fake it till you make it thing comes from. Imitate excitement, and the brain believes it's excited. So that is a way to definitely shift your mood. I love this. You guys, please continue to share in the comments what you have to say, and your ideas for this. And don't hesitate to reach out to Ava or I if there's some way that we can help you in a relationship. It also works with your children. This is really true with children. So have you noticed When children start to go down a path where things are going wrong, the more we scold the wrong and that focus on the bad, the worse it seems to spiral. And so somebody's got to get out of that dance and shift the vibration and bring a new vibration to the scene. And it's got to be the parent. And when you do that, everything starts to shift and it starts to go in a new direction. It's true of any relationship. So try to play with that too. I love spending time with you guys. This is so fun. Like I said, Ava and I are going to be together for the next one. We'll do these sometimes on our own and sometimes together. If there's a topic you'd like to have us share on, please let us know. We would love to consider whatever you'd like to explore together. So we will be together on the 17th again, which is 2 weeks from tonight. We want to keep doing these every couple of weeks. We may shift it a night one way or the other based on like a holiday or something, especially coming into the holiday season, but we still want to try and keep to schedule. So we hope you'll continue to join us, and thank you for being in the group. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you all for being here. And I hope that there's been something that you can take away from this that will start to change your life today. Be aware of what you say because you really are creating your reality. Thank you. Thank you all. And we'll talk some more in the comments, okay? Good night.